G'day guys, welcome back to the farm on Farming Simulator 22, the Start From Scratch series. So previously in September we harvested up our grapes and we built ourselves this new factory over here. So let's take a look and see how that's getting on. Oh wow, it's processed pretty much all of the grapes already. We've got 4 pallets ready and 2 more in stock as well, so we've done alright there. Obviously the canola oil's pretty much all processed up as well. But now we're in October. We've got a busy day ahead of harvesting sugar beets and also the olives, which I've kind of got set up for, but we need to rent out this olive harvester. So that's about 15,000 to do that. So we'll jump into that machine, we'll get that carted over to the olive grove, and we're not going to make much in terms of product out of what we're getting from the olives. But we are working on it. We'll extend the grove eventually. For now we're running at a loss, but one day we will be running at a profit. So let's get on over to there. Well, here we are then. We're all unfolded and ready to start harvest. So let's start driving up and down. You can see it shaking the olives off there. And it does happen quite quickly, this job, so this won't take us too long, but the sugar beets will probably take us the majority of the day, I would say. I think that's a slow process. I've actually never harvested sugar beets before, but I think it's quite a slow job. If it's anything like potatoes, then it's going to take us a while. So we'll just run up and down here. So this is costing us 15,000 just to harvest what we're going to get out of here, and we're really only going to get about 2 pallets of oil from this. So we do definitely need to think about extending the olive grove at some point. And it looks like I've missed the weeding on the canola field here, so we're going to have to rent out a sprayer and get those sprayed off as well before we do the harvest over there. There we go, that's the end of the olives all wrapped up, so that's done for another year. There's obviously some prep work that we have to do ready for the next planting season or harvesting season. So we'll get this tipped into the trailer, and we've only used it for 0.2 hours, so that was that 12 minutes. So 15,000 for 12 minutes, and we're not even going to make any money out of this, to be fair. We have some in stock from the last 2 harvests, which we haven't sold yet. I thought we'd just sell it all when we actually going to get a considerable amount of cash for it. We're not really in desperate need for the funding right now. We are a little bit short of cash today though, so if we do have to sell a few things, then we can, because we need to rent the beet harvester and the header, and probably going to get a large trailer as well, so hopefully we have enough money to do all of that today. But here we go in the Massey Ferguson. Then we'll get this transported over to the oil mill, and that can start producing some olive oil, and we'll see how that goes, and we may end up selling that the next time that the price is right. So let's just get it over there and get that production happening, and then we can start thinking about the beet harvest. And here we are up at the oil factory, up at the yard really, isn't it? It's quite a busy area up here now. Got a lot of pallets around, lots of stuff to sell eventually. The raisins we'll be keeping, so we'll just let the olives tip in, and we better go and activate that olive oil production. Make sure that's happening, see how everything else is doing. Still have a little bit of olives left in there from the previous, but it wasn't enough for a full pallet. So we should have a few extra bits in there today. Okay, so looking at the beet harvester, we obviously want to get the cheapest one that we can, because these things are very expensive. Maybe this one here, it's only a few thousand extra, but we're probably going to need a header for that. So probably going to take the cheapest one again. Money is a little bit tight, so we don't want to be overspending, and we're going to get a lot of beet out of the fields that we have. We'll keep some of it and we'll sell some of it, so we'll make a little bit of money out of it, and then we'll keep some in stock because we're going to want to make some sugar out of that. And we're probably going to want to get a trailer, something quite substantial I think. So these ones up here are pretty large, 56 cubic meters, that's quite a lot, so we could probably go with that. So we'll lease that for 4,000 and we'll take that with us, and that should be all good to go. I think that's pretty much everything that we're going to need. So we will jump into the big new tractor, the Landini, which is over here. Now we don't need the cultivator yet, so we will drive on over and get that all loaded up, hooked up, and brought over to the Sugarbeet fields. And then we'll drive the harvester over, and then we get cracking with the harvest. It's going to be a big job, and first time doing beets as well, so looking forward to it. I'm sure we're going to have to use a worker as well to get us through the job, but it should be a good one. Well, here we are down at the store. Got everything here that we need. We've got this absolutely massive trailer. Looks really big compared to the tractor, and the tractor's not small either. So that's definitely going to be able to handle a few loads of the sugar beet. We should be getting quite a lot though. But before we forget, we should return this olive harvester, get that gone. Otherwise we may end up having another charge that we don't necessarily need. So we'll jump back into over at the store here, the sugar beet harvester as well, which is a huge machine. Look at the size of this thing. And the header, of course, we'll attach that to the front, and we'll drive on over to the field. I've never used this machine before, so we'll have to kind of figure it out as we're going. I'm sure it's not that complicated, but there may be something that we don't know about. We will drive over, and yeah, we will get in front of you. Thank you very much. So just have a look at the menu here. So fold header, lower header. Doesn't look like we need to unfold anything with the machine itself. So it's pretty straightforward. It should just be a simple press turn on the harvester and she should be good to go. Just lower the header down, but there's going to be a fair few runs to do with it. The header is not very wide. It's going to be a little bit of a process, but that trailer is going to be very handy. It's going to be able to take quite a lot of the load that we need to take. So yeah, just double check. So we've got toggle steering. That's the header folding. Well, we don't want it folded. I assume we want it unfolded. So we'll go back to that. And then there's let's just lower the header. What's the steering options? Crab steering? No, we don't want that. I think we just want to drive it pretty much as a vehicle as it is. So we can leave that there, and we'll carry the trailer over, get ready with that. And we're actually running a little bit low on cash, and we're going to be using a worker at some point. So I wonder if we should maybe consider selling something before we get started. What have we got in stock? We've got milk. Milk's a good price at this time of year, so we could sell that. The raisins are quite valuable as well, aren't they? They're worth a bit. I don't want to sell those though. I want to use those in another production when we come to that, probably in the new year. So it's probably going to be the milk, I would say. We can go and sell one load of that, and that should fund a worker for the rest of the day doing the beet harvest, because we're going to be running the truck a little bit, the trailer, to where we want to get rid of it. And we're going to sell a couple of loads, and we'll keep a couple of loads. Not actually sure how much we're going to get, but we will sell some of it. We don't need all of it. We will buy the sugar processing factory at some point, so we'll kind of just keep it stocked, probably try and put it in the silo. That'll be a good thing. So we'll go get this milk sold off, and then once we've done that, we'll have enough money to fund the worker, and we can get started on that beet harvest. Alright, we are on and good to go, all unfolded. We did have to unfold the machine in the end. I wasn't selected on that, I was on the header for the whole part trying to figure that out, so we are good to go now in the end. So we're going to go probably around the headland first, and we'll create ourselves a little bit of turning room. But looks like she's filling up quite fast. We're certainly getting a lot of product for such a small area already. So we're going to be probably looking at, I'm not too sure really, maybe over 100,000 litres of sugar beet here, which is obviously going to be good for us. It's always good when you buy a field that you get some free product, especially when it's product that you want. So we'll just get into it, we'll make the most of it and see how we go, and we'll turn up the beets. Okay, why is that not tipping into the trailer? Let's have a look at that. Okay, so it could take sugar beet and silage and straw and all that kind of stuff, but it can't take sugar beet, unfortunately. So that is a bit of an error on my part. That's a little bit of an expensive mistake. It's cost us about 5,000, so we are going to have to hire something like this. That's a cheaper option. It's not too expensive, but yeah, basically cost us $10,000 there to get ourselves a trailer, which is alright. It's only money. We've got enough money to finish the day, so we'll just continue on, and that bigger trailer can probably carry a lot more as well, which is probably a good thing. So we'll get this running away again, and we'll get a worker set up soon, and I'll run away and I will pick up that new trailer. Luckily the store is very close to where we are, and hopefully we're probably going to have to put it on the car because we'll need a dolly. We already have the dolly and the car down at the store, so hopefully the car is going to be strong enough to pull that. We could put it on a tractor if we have to, but I think the car would be fine. It's actually got the most horsepower out of everything. I think it's got like 600 or 700 horsepower, that car. It's ridiculously fast. So we'll go with that, and we'll let this run away with a worker, and I'll go and get that all sorted out, and then by the time we come back, this harvester should pretty much be around about full, and then we can think about getting our first load taken away if this thing fills the trailer. Looks like this machine holds a lot. It's going to be over 20,000 litres. So let's get that all organised, and we'll come back and we'll see how much we can fill up the trailer, If we have to, we'll do a second load in the harvester. No point taking a half load in the trailer, so we may as well just maximize it. And then our first load, probably going to take that straight to a sell point, and we'll recoup some money that we've lost here with purchasing these 2 trailers that we needed. Well, here we are back with our trailer, and it's on the ute, so we'll get that pulling up alongside the beet harvester, and hopefully this time, yep, it is lowering that arm, so we should start to get some beets put into this trailer. And he's probably got just about a full load in the harvester, so I don't know how much that's going to fill up this trailer, but it's certainly quite a lot. I mean, he's already got, we're over 20,000 and we've done barely anything of what we actually have to harvest today. So we are going to be looking at quite a lot of beet here, so we may as well, yeah, we're only half full. That's 30,000 litres. I think the car should be fine to pull a full load, but we may as well take over in the beet harvester, save some coins, and we'll do the work just when we can, and then while we drive away to sell, then that is when we will let the workers take over. I've noticed with this machine that we actually end up destroying a little bit of the crop just on the turns, even when we lift the header, and when we're driving along the tires seem to actually destroy a little bit, but lucky we get so much out of the field that it's kind of irrelevant. It doesn't really matter that much. We're going to make some money out of this crop, and we're obviously going to keep some as well, and we'll produce some sugar from that eventually. Probably at the end of the next year, I would say, we'll be able to afford the sugar sugar factory. So it's going to be quite a profitable crop. I don't know what's going on with the turning on this machine. I didn't have that before. I think I preferred it driving the old way, just like a normal car. I don't really like this crab steer or pivot point, whatever you want to call it. But we better actually take a look and see where the best place to sell this is going to be, and how much we're actually going to get from it. So I'll just put that on a worker for a second. Take a look at this, and we are looking at Sugarbeet, 170 up at the grain elevator. That's up near the chicken farm, and best price is in January, but I don't want to wait until then. We've got too much crop to get rid of before then, so we may as well take that 170 price now. Seems to be a very good price. So we'll continue on, and we'll get a load all set up, and then we'll cart it up to the grain elevator. Well, there we go, just about at a full load. We don't have enough space in the harvester to do another run up or down or left or right, so we may as well just try and put this straight into the trailer here, and then that way we can take the trailer away, get ourselves unloaded. We should actually make a fair bit of coin out of this, which is good. I don't know what's going on here. Can't seem to empty the machine out into my trailer, so I think I should move this. I'll move the car and trailer into my field. Kind of crashed into it while trying to line that up, but we'll get off this other person's field and we'll put it into our own property, and hopefully that's going to do the trick. I don't know why it's not letting me unload over here, so we'll, should be fine to do it on my piece of land here. And it looks like we're going to probably need to get our cultivator over here, start cultivating this land behind the harvester. Although the cultivators are probably a little bit faster than the harvester is, so maybe we should wait just a little bit on that. We don't want to stall too much, we want to get ahead of it, get the cultivating done so we can turn this field around. I have put some fertilizer down on the field where we ploughed. Okay, so we actually need to press pipe out, which is going to allow that to unload. So I probably could have done that on the other field, but it doesn't really matter too much. Kind of on a lean here, probably ruining the hired trailer. That's alright, luckily it's not ours. So once we've done this, we'll take this load up to that grain elevator. We'll get $170 roughly per 1,000 litres. So we should get quite a lot of cash out of that. So I'll leave the harvester over here, we'll get a worker running again, and we will take this load away, and by the time we get back, hopefully he's got nearly a full load again for us. Alright, here we are. This truck didn't have any problems pulling that trailer up the hill, surprisingly. So we've got a full load here going straight into the sell point. That money is climbing up quite fast, isn't it? It's going well. So we should be looking at around about, I don't know, $7,000 or $8,000 for a trailer load. Haven't really done the maths, but we are climbing up there. We're over 11,000. That's good. 12,000. So how much are we going to get? 9,000. So pretty much 10 grand for a trailer. So we can't argue with that. We're going to get a couple of loads out of it, but we need to get back down there because that machine is probably filling up quite fast, so let's get down there and empty him out. Well, I've been following the harvester up and down, and he should have about a full load for me by the time he finishes this run. Well, it'll be another run that we can take away. Not going to sell this one because it's only the second trailer load, so we will probably take this up to field where all of our factories are, and I'll try and store this into a shed, and I'll probably want to take a couple of loads up to there, and then anything else that we can get we can take to the sell point. Okay, well here we are, we've got a full trailer load, 56,000 litres, and we are going to tip this in this shed here. I don't know why I can't tip this into my silo, which is up at the chicken farm. It won't let me do that, so I'm going to have to try and tip this all into the shed. That way it'll be all undercover, and I'm hoping that I can get at least 2 loads put in here, and then eventually when we get the sugar factory we'll just have to scoop it out of here with a bucket. So that'll be a little bit of a job in itself, but I don't know why I can't put it in a silo, so this is the best option that we can come up with. But we've got a second field that we're going to need to go and harvest now. And here we go, we're on our second field now, done a couple of passes already, and we are going to just need to make ourselves a bit of room so we can actually get a turn around going on down here. So I'll come up and down both sides a little bit and across this bottom edge, maybe 2 or 3 times. It's going to take a little bit to actually be able to maneuver this machine, but this field is about half the size roughly of the other field that we just harvested, so we should get this one done a little bit quicker. And again, we'll sell some of it and we'll keep some of it. We don't need to keep too much, so may as well just make a little bit of money out of it. Hopefully if we can get up to around 20,000, then we'll be pretty happy. So let's just continue on with the harvest and get a job done. that's pretty much the end of the harvest now, just doing this last little piece up here, and pretty much not going to be a full harvester load, but it's the best part of it. So we've done quite well out of all of the sugar beet here. We've had quite a few loads, we've made a bit of money, we've got plenty in storage which we can then put into a sugar factory and make some sugar. And we should get this last little bit over here just while we're at it there as well. So we'll get this put into the trailer and we will go and sell this load. I've got 2 loads in storage, so that's about 100,000 litres of sugar beet that we are going to be using for ourselves. And that sounds like a massive number. I'm not actually sure how much we're going to get out of that. So that'll be a bit of a learner for us. We'll see how it goes. We may end up planting more sugar beet in the future if it doesn't last long enough. There we go, that's pretty much going to be a full trailer as well, so we can return this harvester and the header as well. Make sure we get all of that returned, and do not return that trailer, otherwise we'll lose the sugar beet. So we'll take this on up to the grain elevator and we'll get this sold off, recuperate some money that we've lost today, all those expenses. So we'll get that done, and then there's probably still a couple of jobs that we can squeeze in for the rest of the afternoon. And here we are, up at the grain elevator. The car does have no issues pulling this trailer, which is very surprising. You wouldn't think a car could tow something like this, but I suppose it's a game. So we'll get this sold off, and that should be another 9,000, 10,000 roughly into the bank. So that's going to be good going forward. We're going to need a little bit of cash to get through the winter. A couple of months where we're not going to be making any more money, but then we should start making money again in the new year. So yeah, we've actually got a decent price there, 9,150. So that would mean that we can now return the trailer. And seeing as I thought it was going to take us a much longer time to do that harvest, we are only playing on 2 times speed though, not 5 times anymore. So we are going to need to fill the rest of the day, and I do believe that there is silage work that we can do. The grass down at the cow field is ready to be mowed and baled up, so we'll get that done as well. Otherwise it's going to be a day where we don't end up doing the cut, so we might as well get that done today. But I'll go and take the car back over to the factory, and we'll leave that over there, and then we can get jumping into that mower, make sure we get our silage all prepped up, and then we should be good to finish the day out with that, I think. Okay, so we'll get these mowers unfolded, and we'll make sure that we are on swath dropping, not widespread. So let's toggle the work mode there, and swath dropping is what we want. And we'll turn both of those on and get that moving. And there's probably been a few time lapses in today's episode because it's just been a lot of harvesting, and that's really the only way to show you what we're up to. Quite hard to make a video out of it without it being either very long or having a few time lapses in there. So if you don't like the time lapses, I don't really know what else I could do. Maybe just a few clips and that, but there probably will be 1 or 2 more just to get this mowing finished up, and after that should be pretty sweet. But hopefully I'll try and make it not too long. I know there's been quite a few, but let's just get this mowing done and get it all baled up. we go, that's that last bale wrapped up, so we can leave those now to ferment. We do have a load on the trailer from the previous cut, so we should probably go and sell that, because I do believe we still have enough just around the corner. Yep, we do. Still got quite a bit there, which is more than enough to feed the cows for a little while. So we should go and sell one load, and we'll keep the other load that we've just made for the future. We'll stack that next to the shed as well. But this load here is just purely for profit, which is going to be quite welcomed right now. We do need the money. We are a little bit broke, but we should have a productive winter. Well, after in the new year, we should make quite a bit of coin, so we should end up with a fair bit of money after that. So we're not really struggling too much. It just looks like we are, and we don't have much to pay for in terms of payments. Do still have the loan interest and the maintenance for any buildings and such, but we should have enough money by now just to cover our costs through the winter. Okay, let's get this unloaded and we'll see how much we're actually going to get, and that should pretty much be the end of the income for the year. Don't think there's much to sell in November, December. There is possibly actually the canola oil. I think that might be around about the end of the year. But there we go, nearly $14,000, so not a bad price at all. And that makes us a little bit more comfortable going into November, where we will be harvesting the sunflowers next. That's the big job for tomorrow, and probably ploughing up the field of sugar beet that we've just harvested. I didn't realize that we'd need to do that, but it looks like we do. And just like that, we have a whole new fresh trailer of bales ready to be fermenting, and probably going to be used for feeding animals instead of selling this time. Do have one bale of grass there which will need to be transported up to the sheep, and we can just leave this trailer down here ready to be fermenting and leave that as like that for the rest of the time. And looking around the farm, looks like the cows are all good. Could do with a feed at some point, but we'll check the map here. How are we doing with all of our fields? Everything's looking good, everything's planted that needs to be. Looks like there's a bit of ploughing to do on the olive grove, and yeah, we have to plough the 2 sugar beet fields. I didn't realize that before. I was just trying to use the cultivator. So next episode we'll have to get the plough out. We'll have to hire one again, and we'll plough the olive grove. The grapevines and that is all good, so they should be fine. And the rest of our fields are all fully fertilized, and we do actually have some weeds in the canola field. We'll need to get dealt with that. Oh, that baler would be good. I do like a square baler. I don't have the 60,000 right now, and we don't really need that tractor, and we don't really need a header, and that's for slurry spreading. We don't really need that either. So nothing in the sales for us today, but everything's looking pretty good. We're going to have to get rid of those weeds over there in that canola field. We're going to have to get a plough out tomorrow, do a bit of work over there. Looks like the timber is still fine. Doesn't really consume a lot of timber in the sawmill there, which is good because I don't really like doing timber work. I will do it, but I don't really enjoy it. But everything's going well. It's October, so next up will be November, when we can do the sunflower harvest, a little bit of field prep, and maybe try and pick something up in the sales if it's there. So I hope you enjoyed the episode, guys. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hopefully you're enjoying the series, and I will catch you in the next one.